Hello! Give me a moment and we'll get started. How's the game dev been going, by the way? Hey, Alan. Oh, nice, nice. Did we? Bum, 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 bum. Nice. Grab this. Oh, wait. Drop that in there, copy that, cancel that, and then drop this. Yep, that will be enough. Needs to win by 3. There were no competing votes, so it wins. There's your 3 votes. So I've heard that there is a pretty interesting way of doing pixel art that might be useful to you, called the subpixel method. You see, subpixel method for pixel. And basically what you do is you start with a high resolution image and then you scale it down to the scale that you're going for, and you limit the color palette. And that allows you to get much higher resolution, say much higher detail, right? So instead of starting at the actual pixel level, what you do is, if I go into Krita, I can do this a little bit better. Give me a second. So let's do a new image, yada yada yada. Doesn't matter. The starting resolution doesn't matter. But yeah. So if I do a random stick figure, let's do a little bit more than a stick figure. Right, we've got shitty stick figure here, right? And it's like a knees up thing here, and we're going to do like a little bit of painting inside the lines and give him like some sort of badge looking thing here, and then we're going to give him blue eyes and like a little smile here, right? Now this is at a stupidly high resolution, right? This is like 2000 something by 3500, right? So now if I go into, these should be a lot thicker, but whatever. You should be able to take this higher resolution sketch with these nice thick lines and everything, and you should be able to image resized canvas down to like actually cancel. We want to scale image, right? So image scale image to new size. That's the correct one. And we're going to change this to 240 or 250 by 350, right? Cool. And then we're going to do... yeah, do that. You see, we're sorry, I guess it needs to be even smaller. Scale image and new size, let's do 25. That is not precisely what I was looking. But that's mainly just because the lines were too narrow. But if we scale image, let's instead go to 50 by 71. You can see, because I'm scaling down, I am preserving a lot of this. And what you can do is draw at the higher detail, better image you want, scale down, and then use this as a reference. Like, you don't necessarily need to stick with this, right? I can, now that I have this, I can go here and I can start, like, reinforcing the certain shapes. I can balance out the eyes so that they match up with each other, and then I can go do that. But you still have the badge detail. That's where it's supposed to be. Right? You can do that. Krita is free, so if you want to just replicate your process in this, then that's fine. Of course, you can also scan it. But yeah, this is just what very quickly comes out of starting at a higher resolution, scaling down, and kind of getting a feel for it. But yeah. If you find it easier to start at a higher resolution, scale down, and go from there, then that's what works for you. Art is ultimately, like, there's no science to art. Well, there is science to art, but it's mostly a science of making sense of art. Art is art. Just remember, if you are doing it this way, your friends are big strokes, like big pen lines, so that you have like a nice outline to go off of, and continuing things from there. Ooh, let's see. Do you mind if I show it on stream? I can comment a little bit on it. Okay, let's see. Now, obviously, this is going to be a bit annoying because it is blurring things for me because of anti-aliasing. That looks nice. You've got good definition. I assume this is a female character. You managed to communicate that. I can see some shading under the bust. That's nice. Eyes are a little high, like this visor shape. I would suggest bringing that down a little bit to help balance things out. But the head shape is good. This broom looks okay. I can see the skirt shape in there, so that's also good. Curving here, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but you've got the legs slightly different sizes. I would suggest moving this line one block over to balance off the leg shapes. Maybe two. But yeah, that's really my main comments. It's eyes and that, but everything else looks really nice. You've got like you can make out the different elements. You can tell that this is supposed to be a female character. I'm not sure what the edge lines, say the pointy bits here are, or like I can't make out precisely what this weapon is supposed to be. I'm assuming it's a weapon. It's either a weapon or like a broom that they're flying in on or something. But the arms make sense. The general proportions make sense. So, looks good. Uh, see. Um, I'm probably going to have it spin out into mini actions over the course of to replace the second half of the updates, right? So this stuff, so if we go back to the original vote, The remaining 2 minor actions will happen will happen like out of sync with the normal timeline as the first half of the updates, and then we will continue this action in to see how it's going, because neither of these two are dependent on how long it would take for that to happen, and I might continue them over the weekend.
You set off under the cover. Heavy storm providing ample cover for you as you rise above. The air is difficult. Odd due to there's pottery. But you do have Tommy is at home very leading for your I think
have been transferred. Your play tools. Along with this, the journey is swift coming primarily using thick with take out the layer of ground cross. Seconds. The map are. Hey, Dr. Jekyll, how you doing? Not Russian, not good. Not with but hey, nice to see you, man. Hello, Jasper. Yeah, I'm currently just doing an update for Mercenary Clan Quest. There was a midweek change in plans, so I'm currently working out how this plays out. Aboard your the waiting the that opponent were creating the creating what's I keep getting how these were originally created. This is why I need to go offline gold station. Nope, not this. Oh, that is not the pre. A little bit messy. This particular vote, let's say this is not exactly how I expected Alan and the others to handle this particular challenge. So I am trying to figure out the best way of getting it to work with the current layout. Guys are... You know, it was made fairly recently before this. I was honestly expecting for you guys to attempt to, what do you call it? Attempt to head off the initial assault. Right? Back when the storm started happening, um, you could have immediately set either Keita or something else. Sure thing. But set Keita or someone against the storm in order to directly try and battle them on that field. Another option would have been to, instead of trying for an aerial assault, instead of trying for an aerial assault, you could have immediately gone in for the push on the ritual site, as in deploy stuff, maybe drop in what do you call it? Various anti-magic weapon systems. You could have attempted to cave them in. You have access to various poisons. You have a pretty hefty source of toxic sludge that you could have poured down on them. Fire would have worked. Tunneling options would also been pretty good. You could have just sent in puppets to try and go in and just blow them up. A couple of other ways that you could have done it. Other things that could have worked is other things that could have worked would have been things like, I don't know, just kind of ignoring them and trying to force change in the battle lines by striking behind them. Like, you know that they have logistics limitations on their battle plans right now, in that they are making use of potions and other materials that I was hinting at previously that are currently boosting their capabilities. So striking at those facilities and targeting the foreign mages there would have been one thing. There's a bunch of other things that could have worked for there. Honestly, with the way that the storm has been going on for 2 weeks in game, you could have just set up a siege situation where you sealed off the caves they were in, followed the storm magics back to where the source and sealed them in their cave, and basically put them under siege. That would have been another option. So yeah. Golden mana sand. Create SID ass. Very raw in our bid to embody an need a roll for that, and we're doing sorry, you're doing this as oh, this is Katsumi Tantric. Yep. Oh wait, this is in a hurry. You don't get the artifice buff. No, you don't get the magical knowledge buff. You do get artifice. Oh, I'll need to do an Eyes in the Sky for Takami. Familiar and crafting. And crafting. Then I also need to do one for Takami. Gale Goddess, Crown of Eyes, and also this will be after Gale Goddess, Crown of Eyes, and Eyes in the. Okay, let's do both of those. That's the first set of rolls. That is a lot of rolls. Throw dice. 48, 100. Definitely two of them. Yep. At 1,000, the number of successes you get is the number of. Actually, no, I'm gonna do this at. Oh, that won't. Yeah, actually no. 500 is good. Because that way it'll be 4, 5, or 6. So that'll be, yeah, 4, 5, or 6. That's 4. The fortunately, even this cannot be creating something such as this. I remember when you created this. How many did you make? I think that's 2 more. Never said how many I don't think I said it. Bolts. I think it's 2 more. So it is. So anyways, you have 4. You all had 2 before this. You're up to 6. Some this on the, especially with the power ball. No. Still, you are able to bring your stock from to in the day when traveling. Oh, it is an auto path. Takami. Path. It is it is fairly easy to tell when you finally reach your just the cloud your swirl swirl slowly like Like a cycle. As they sweep out into the um once data sends forth per did we name Keita's bird? Keita. The Curious Crew. Sends forth the Curious. Allowing it to pick. You know, I was trying to get the name. But yeah, I've got that. Allowing it to pick up. I'm going to say that it doesn't grab the wire. It is decent enough at flying, so it's not going to take the additional discovery risk. Which takes which grabbing is this not shooting? Yanjing, that's right. I love how I get it before I even scroll down far enough to see it. Yanjing Fire. Still, the storm thing. Though it does let go once the storm proves not too dangerous to descending through the mountains. It scouts for various cave openings, listening, watching for strange flows of air as both you and Takami use your own senses to pinpoint the openings used by the openings to the caves, the opening from which this storm is flowing. Okay, so we want to have Takami's Gale Goddess and Gale Goddess, Crown of Eyes, Eyes in the Sky. Anything else from here? Fides? No, it's Blessed Union. And then we have Dukachi's version of this, which is familiar. You don't double up on Fides. So you don't double up on Blessed Union though. I'm fairly sure this will be an auto pass, so I'm not rolling anything yet. I'm fairly sure these guys can't pull off a hide of more than 4,000. So, like the high difficulty of more than 4,000. So, unless it's Yeah, even your 10% is over 4,000, so this is an auto pass. Bullet. Search. Auto pass. Ow, ow, ow. I'm just doing the. So I did that. Oh, you mean with the when I was saying ow? I stretched the wrong way, and I like almost pulled a muscle. Search out of the cave is the cave. Is one of the lower along the side. Okay. Oh, what happened? Is one of the vibration motors gone? Cave itself will not be mount. The air here is heavier. The plant and the wall covered steadily growing a layer of not the outside appears largely unguarded. But um but as she gets as she gets finds a habit with the site. With the site. You send down the Rian, which does see some odd flaws from the rest of the crew on Raw in past the first 10 in the rear of the cave tunnel had just off the action has been here, forming a natural scope where several mages be entertaining themselves with some sort or some sort of are under a dim run. But unfortunately, me Fortunately, even your smallest made from uh made from uh are unable to pass their so just uh they are scared off by the so you are unable to get a clearer picture of what lies behind this first guard. It does seem like there's a and narrow passage leading to the bowel. Your initial scouting of the area suggests that it is fairly stable. Now, there is evidence of several landslides that have followed the continuous rain the area. You uh, there's evidence of several landslides that have followed the continuous rains in the area. You know that uh seems as though anything that would have caused problems has already failed. Please, with careful and lower the ships to the path. Set yourselves to position to your next action. Action. Action is then we're gonna do the information from Vatan is saying that there are 9 actively involved in the. Oh, you mean in the checkpoint? Where several. I'm going to change several here to about half dozen. Yeah. No. So these are pages in Orchid fire. Right? Fire. So yeah. So what you know about the 9 mages is that there are 9 actively involved in what I will over the table call a ritual, right? There is effectively like a group effort going towards sustaining the storm manipulation magic. And there are 9 people involved in that at any given time. The blindness thing, you mean the thing where you created the that was the thing where you created the enchantment to heal off the area, right? Let's get the fodder. Good time to focus. There was bar. Windswept. That's the one. Yeah, the... Yeah, you did the... you basically started enchanting the forest as thing. I guess you could do a similar thing where you enchant the cave as a labyrinth. There is also the option of... So this will be a bit of a long shot, right? I believe with your stats you can just about make it, but you can theoretically overlay the contents of the movable mountain maw onto this by effectively doing doing an enchantment that makes this cave represent a quote-unquote model of the hidden space inside the maw. That's also an option. I mean, it would be way easier if you had the maw with you, but it is possible. I believe with your stats, if I pull it up, it'll be from family. No, it'll be based on the it'll be based on the crafting roll, right? Yeah. So it would be above somewhere in here, 525 to 540 region is what I'd set the difficulty at. But yeah, the forest, the thing that you did with Takami was basically metaphysically imposing the concept of the Lost Woods onto the area of woodland that you brought Takami into, which basically made the universe treat that section of woodland as sort of like the kind of deep woods where everybody loses their sense of direction and gets lost. That's what you were doing. Which, yes, is bullshit. It's the reason why you suck at illusions. Because your workings are often too real to be illusions. You are effectively reality warping when you want to do illusions, which is less stable than illusions are, because illusions are fake and therefore can overlay over reality without much conflict. But your reality warps are way harder to get out of if you can get them working. This is the equivalent of like trying to pick up an egg with one of those giant cranes that they use to lift like entire support pillars. That is the kind of thing that you're dealing with when you're trying to do illusions. The question becomes your... basically, it would treat the cave as the physical location that the internals of the maw represent, which means that your remnants of the tentacle monster would be able to access the contents of the cave. Of course, that also means that the mouth of the cave becomes another exit point for the tentacle monsters. But as long as you can keep them contained, that's one thing. The other risk is that, like, these guys are from what you know, from a seafaring nation that has likely had to deal with such things before. There's every possibility that they will be able to deal with this, with the tentacle monsters, and that means you've lost a useful test subject. So, depends on how you want to play it. No. So the way, let me grab paint. Okay. So if I do this, sorry for the flashbang, but yeah. So if we have the mountain over here, the cave goes in here. So there is a cave in here, and then there is a tunnel that goes off the cave, deeper into the mountain. And the checkpoint is sticking off this here. Like, presumably, this somewhere down here is where the ritual is, right? And this is... Actually, it's not quite over here, but... Like, it's probably closer to here, but yeah. I can just type whatever. Yeah. So the constructs will fit through. It's big enough for people. Big enough for people. It's big enough for Yanjing, who is slightly bigger than a people. No doubt. No doubt. Dealing with the mages at the checkpoint will alert anyone for assault. And her has to win. I'm just gonna say win by 3, which is basically tying, but whatevs. Right. God, I hate this. I mean, it's not so much dark magic or not dark magic. Dark magic is a designation given by the gods to anything that draws a soul from the underworld. Right? That is their hard line, right? They can be personally displeased with anything else, and like they might get pissy about something that infringes in their domains or whatever. But from on high, the big law about magic is you don't fuck with the land of the dead. Because the cycle of reincarnation is an important part of how souls work. That is like a natural law, a natural process that the gods have seen fit to personally like maintain. It is their equivalent of like a green initiative, right? What they're basically saying is, hey, if we don't make sure that this cycle continues on properly, then the world as we say, then the entire balance of the ephemeral realm and the material realm is going to get fucked up, and we're going to suffer materially from it. The people on the material realm are going to suffer materially from it. We're just going to enforce that one law. You can do whatever you want if you don't like it or not. That's fine. We're not going to complain about that shit. But this is the thing that like the astral autarch and the like abyssal and the abyssal one, whatever I named them, are in charge of, right? That is the law that they have set down and said, yeah, no touchy the dead. And if you do that, you are you are officially like that's why the body manipulation dude, right? The guy who was doing flesh shaping, that's why he wasn't seen as using dark magic, because he was technically, everybody involved in that monstrosity was alive, which seems way worse from a human perspective. But from the divine perspective of, no, they didn't rip souls out of the underworld and cause damage to the fabric of reality, it isn't seen as bad, right? It is the comparative equivalent between torturing a guy and dumping toxic waste into a river. That's kind of where the line gets drawn. Alan, does that make sense? So yeah, you can totally seek out aid from a specific god about issues like this. And sure, and like, depending on your specific relationship, like the forest god from Komorebi, Huntenkin. If you, yeah, which is also why your corpse puppets don't count as dark magic. It's also why the false familiar fetish doesn't count as dark magic. The false familiar fetish, because technically the bird never died. It's just its soul is just trapped in the material plane, which is its own thing, but it didn't pass to the other side, therefore you aren't fucking with things by bringing it back. And technically forcing it over to the other side is its own thing. And yeah. Okay, I will wrap up now. Cheers, man. Bye. Yeah, sorry. Sorry to the other guys who are watching. I've got guests over at the moment, so I can't really stick around for too long. Unfortunately, yes. Find someone to raid to so that we can drop you guys off somewhere nice. Following up. Yes.